I mean, we all wear armor, right? Some of it's handed to us, some we built ourselves. Sometimes we forget we're even wearing it.
If the truth is something that isn't welcome here, then I guess neither am I.
It can prevent connection. People might like us, but they don't really know us. And ooh, if I show the real me, yikes. Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I'm Doc Shellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. And we are taking another great try at absolutely rabble-rousing this podcast. Because today we're going to be talking about the armor we didn't know we were wearing, the protection that became our personality. And I imagine everyone who's hearing this can recognize, if not themselves, as somebody who wears that armor like a shield because they know the person that's deep inside that and they know that's not who they really are. So let's talk about this, my friend.
I mean, we all wear armor, right? Some of it's handed to us, some we built ourselves. Sometimes we forget we're even wearing it. So when you said that we have probably have listeners, and I thought that are all thinking, not me.
That
I don't have any armor.
and it could well be true because at some point it stopped being temporary.
Exactly.
At some point it
Exactly.
became how we even just walk into a room.
hmm So let's think about, what does armor look like? So you said like it walks in the room. What does that look like? For me, it's I've got it. I got it. little
Even if I
missing
don't,
little Miss Independence over here.
well, you usually do have it.
I
But
usually do, but I also just, even if I don't, I do. you know, it could be perfectionism.
mm,
I think I used to struggle with that one a little bit. It could be sarcasm or humor.
yep.
Maybe it's being the peacemaker, the fixer, the one that brings the harmony.
So we have this perception that we want to maintain and we want to cultivate. We get so good at managing that, the fixer, the one who's always ready, that we don't notice we're actually hiding.
Right.
We're hiding behind that facade. It starts as protection, but it ends up becoming a matter of performance. I have
Yeah,
to be this way.
I mean, I think yes, it can start as protection. I also think it's really around that need for some people for control and protection or safety. And it becomes to your point, it becomes a habit. We forget about it. It's built in response usually to some sort of pain or trauma. And it becomes the reason we start to maybe not feel very much.
Okay. Numbing.
So it's like that armor just, yeah, it's the numbing agent, if you will.
Hmm.
It was, yeah, yeah.
We've talked about this before, but the notion that, I'm taking me as an example, I'm a fairly upbeat, positive, encouraging kind of person. In my heart, that's who I am. And there was a point in time where it just is who I be. It's when I come in and I show up, that's how I am. On those rare occasions when, because I'm being just transparent about how I am and how I'm feeling and whatever, I come in and I'm not quite up to the standard of upbeatness and
How
smiliness
dare
and
you?
honestly, and people were really put off by the fact that I might actually not be that same level of upbeatness and such on a day where I'm just not feeling well or something really awful had happened somehow, somewhere in my life, and I wasn't trying to hide it. And there was almost some resentment. Like they didn't know how to handle the fact that I wasn't the normal me, which
Hmm.
it started me thinking about how much of this is really a facade. I think I really am an upbeat and encouraging person. It's always glass half full. But in those moments when it didn't come across that way, others were so put off. They didn't know what to do.
Hmm. Hmm.
So was that protection? I don't know.
I
What
so badly want to flip into coach mode right now, but I
do it?
won't.
Oh, why not?
You know,
Everybody knows you're a coach. And
you-
I am so full of being needing to be coachedness. I am not above being coached in public.
you're you're funny. I guess my question, and you don't have to answer this, but having been through that process of recognizing perhaps that there is some armor in that when people are so put off when you show up differently, it does feel like that's probably some level of armor, right? And so when you started to show up authentically in other ways and people were put off by that, like how do you balance that?
And that was really the challenge because there wasn't any part of me then or now that believes that my normal approach to things was some kind of a shield or armor that I always just put on a happy face because that's what everybody expected. I put on a happy face because that's the face I had. And when I became aware of the fact that there was expectation about that always being the face, if you will, that's when it hit me upside the head. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Don't I, isn't it okay for me to continue to be true to and transparent with what's going on for me? Or is it that that performance, which is how they were receiving it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to go with. There's a dot 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 at the end of that. I do know, Michelle, that in the early days in my professional career, I did everything I could to make sure to portray someone who was confident and competent, and I was good at what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But we've talked often about the hell it was to be amongst those early women in roles that were of leadership, of expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and you did not dare show weakness.
No, no, no.
And I'm of the opinion that I moved from that to not giving a shit about how people were receiving me more than me being able to be true to my focus, my values, being able to give the best of what I had for the work that needed to be done. But this whole notion of that I couldn't have an off day pissed me off. It did. And I wasn't pretending either before or after with the bad day. So I don't know how to answer your question. I
Something
don't
to think
know.
about.
I don't know that I ever saw it or wore it in those later years as an armor.
I
But
think
I'm welcome to think about
that's part of the internal thought process because I think a lot of people have armor on that they don't even realize they're wearing, right? Think about how it might show up, armor in
it. Right.
any way, shape, or form, right? It can prevent connection. People might like us, but they don't really know us. And ooh, if I show the real me, yikes. Like when I was younger, I was fairly popular, but I always wondered, am I popular because my dad makes a lot of money? Am I popular because my dad has all the cool cars? And people would be like, "Hey, can your dad drive us in the parade? Can your dad do that?" So it was like, are you my friends or are you there? Are you just trying to be friends because my dad has resources that you want? So
Mm.
there was a lot of, I did carry some different kinds of armor around that. I'll let you get close, but you ain't getting that close because I don't trust that you want to be friends with me. You want to be friends with what I can provide through other means.
Okay.
I think it can be exhausting for people to portray their armor. It's a role we play every single day. It can get exhausting. And then I think maybe another way is that you are admired for traits like being happy all the time, and or like you have it all together, or I got this, right? Those might be traits that if everyone thinks I always have it together, I don't want to show up when I don't have my shit together. For the very reason that you just talked about, because then people are going to be like, "Oh my god, what's wrong? Are you okay? What happened? What's going on? You're not your usual self today."
Oh God, it's
So
yeah.
then you,
And
so
and you
then,
want to go, yeah. So,
well, yeah, and but then you also, as you're going into those situations, you're just going to put on that armor of, I'm just, screw it. I'm just going to be happy today because that's who they need me to be. So
right.
it does become an armor sometimes.
And we're not wearing it to deceive. We're wearing it to survive.
Sometimes that is the case.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's this challenge, even as far as leaders are concerned, that are you showing up to be polished? Are you showing up with the goal to be polished? And does that differ from how you would be showing up if you just were showing up to be present? The I keep For me, armor equals facade,
Hmm.
and there we play at being certain things. I still will
Sure.
push back on the fact that especially in the later years of my career, that I was pretending. I almost got myself fired a few times, and it wasn't because I was playing to win. I was playing to be real and true, and just, this is it. If the truth is something that isn't welcome here, then I guess neither am I. And we've all had moments somewhere along, at least once, where you had to stand up for that principle and that core set of values and doing what was right, as opposed to doing what was maybe popular or
Hmm.
comfortable. And I admit I have pushed the edge of that on a few occasions. I don't regret it, but I have, and it's not
Hmm.
been fun. But I'm still here,
Hmm.
kicking and loving life and talking with you about armor we didn't know we were wearing. Oh, what if we have armor? So what if we become aware of it? What what's the value of that? Why does it matter?
The cost of it, of wearing armor, you're living an inauthentic life. You're not showing up as your true self. You're playing like you're in a movie. Your life is not a movie. I think it's exhausting to have to put on that filter, that armor, that facade, whatever it is you want to call it. And I fully understand that a lot of that comes from feeling safe and being in control.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ways you can feel safe and you can have control.
But if I needed a real quick fix to that, what would it be?
I think curiosity, like, why am I showing up this way? Why am I protecting whatever's underneath that facade?
Mm-hmm.
And just start to chip away at it a little bit by little bit. Everyone has a safe person in their life. at least one, if not more than one. You've got safe people that when you allow them to see behind the armor, they're not going to run away. So if
Or
you really
attack.
have a lot of armor on, just chip away bit by bit, little bit by little bit. And I want to say create the new identity because that would be like potentially putting another armor on, but build that authentic identity that includes some balance of you don't have to be the one that always has it all together. Sometimes you might need someone else. You don't always have to be the hard ass. Sometimes you can be a soft place to land for people. You don't always have to be all nice, neat, and in a row. Sometimes it can be messy and it's all okay.
You need to know with whom and when you can loosen the straps of the armor
Yeah.
and show up authentically.
Yeah. We're all more than the armor we carry. We all have some armor, we all have it, but we are more than our armor. And that person underneath really needs, I think it comes with some brave courage and being brave to feel the feels, show up in a real way so that people can really get to know you. And then it deepens your relationships and it deepens your connection. And that's the kind of strength that doesn't need that mask or that armor or that facade.
And there's so much energy that goes into keeping it up. Imagine
Yeah.
what you could do if that energy was focused differently.
Yeah. So think about what would it feel like to set that armor down? It's heavy. What if you just set it down for 2 minutes? What would that do for you? Lighten the load a whole lot, I would venture to say.
Indeed.
I think there's another question in the back of my head is what armor are you wearing so well that people actually think that's your personality?
Well, there's a question to ponder. Well, with that, I'm Carla Lewis.
I'm Doc Shellie. We'll see you next time. But we are more than our armor. And that person underneath really needs courage and being brave to feel the feels, show up in a real way so that people can really get to know you. What armor are you wearing so well that people actually think that's your personality?